two things. Either William Ruto is making a tactical retreat on the Building Bridges Initiative referendum, or he is actually surrendering to President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. Those two things, either a retreat or surrender. Because I've been observing his latest moves, his latest speeches, the reaction from his allies, and clearly the deputy president is either making a tactical retreat or he's surrendering. Previously, his allies were very sure, were very proud, were very arrogant.
Tuko tayari kwa uchaguzi. Tuko tayari serikali ivunjwe. Yes. Tuko tayari kwenda kwa debe. Yes. We enjoy 80% of the support of Kenyans. Yes. Wakimwaga ugali tunamwaga kitoweo.
Yes. Bring it on, baby. Bring it on. We are waiting.
But their tone have actually changed. And today the Deputy President William Ruto made a post on his Facebook page and on his Twitter. And from that particular post, it is clear that he's changing strategy. I want us to look at why the deputy president is either making a tactical retreat or is surrendering. But before we do that, if you're watching this video for the first time, I want you to take a second or two and click subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Now let us get back to the main issue and straight to a tweet which the deputy president made earlier today. Let me read for you that particular tweet. The deputy president is saying, I love this country enough never to be part of any war, not when there is a real possibility for a win-win consensus beckoning. An us versus them, yes versus no contest that will lead to a lose-lose outcome is unnecessary and unwarranted. And the most interesting part of this particular tweet is what I'm going to read. An uncontested referendum is possible in our Sekana. And I fail to understand one thing in this post. Can we have a referendum which is not contested? Because my understanding, a referendum is actually a yes or no. So it gives people opportunity to make a choice. So if we don't like something, let's say the country want to adopt a bill which advocates, I'm just saying, abortion, for example. Then the next thing would be, some people will say no, some people will say yes. Then you say, okay, let's take it to the referendum so that if people say yes to it, then it becomes law. If people say no to it, then it doesn't come law. I don't think that a referendum is actually a contested thing. And I am not understanding why he's actually changing his tone now to what he's calling consensus. And one man, the member of parliament for Nyeri Town, captured this so well. Listening to him before we continue.
The deputy president is interested in a non-contested referendum. Part of it is because he has taken a side that he feels he's going to lose. So he would rather we didn't actually go into a contest about this. Because if you realize, if you think back, for the last 2 years, the deputy president and his allies have rubbished BBI. They have rubbished it in every platform that they could get. So to hear them now saying that, oh no, let us talk, let us agree, we don't have to fight. They're the ones who began a fight when there was no need for a fight. Actually, they can just stop fighting. You know, we don't have to get into a contest. All they need to do to stop this being a contest is just to accept to work with BBI as it is. But there's also an advantage to having a contested referendum. You get a chance for people to exchange. You get the public gets to hear both sides of what is going on with this referendum, and they get to be able to make a choice that is based on information. Of course, there's going to be a lot of propaganda in the process, but I personally think a contested referendum is not a bad thing, because you need to get a platform for ideas to compete against each other as far as the public is concerned. But then also, ultimately, personally, I don't think that their calls for consensus are genuine. I think they're just looking for a way to stall BBI. The DP never believed that BBI would get to this point. He and his allies actually believed they would stop BBI before it got to this point. They believed they would be able to create obstacles in its way. I mean, it was shocking for a lot of us when the president told us that the deputy president was aware of every step of what was going on in BBI, because he had three of the 14 people who were in that team, he's the one who had recommended them. And we have seen even Bejasei stepping up, saying one thing and then changing his mind the next day. But the DP actually never accepted that the BBI process would come this far. So now it has gotten this far. He had initially thought he was going to take a chance to take a stand against it. He's scared because he realizes if he takes a stand against it, he will lose. And if he loses, it's going to be bad mojo for him as we go in 2022.
Now, Gunjiri captured my thought on this William Ruto's issue. And personally, I strongly believe that the deputy president is actually surrendering. He's giving in. He's going to say yes to the referendum. But he still doesn't know how he's going to go around it. Because initially he said no. And if you followed him, for the last 2 years, 2 good years, the deputy president embarked on opposing this particular bill. And until recently, just a day before the bill, before the report was launched by President Uhuru Kenyatta at Uhuru Park, the deputy president was in Mumias. And this is what he said, which was very powerful. And in my view, I thought that probably he was going to go to the people and ask the people to oppose this particular report.
Na munisikize, tunaenda kesho mambo ya BBI, na hiyo maneno ya BBI watu wawache kututisha, na watu wawache vitisho na matusi. Mambo ya katiba ni mambo ya Wakenya wote. Mambo ya katiba si mambo ya viongozi, ni mambo ya wananchi. Kama ni aje? Na tunataka tuwe na mjadala. Wameweka mambo ya viti vya viongozi. Tunaenda kuuliza wapi maslahi ya wananchi wadogo? Kama ni aje? Na wasituambie ati nobody can stop reggae. Kama hakuna mambo ya mwananchi mdogo kwa hiyo BBI, hiyo reggae itasimama. Kama hakuna mambo inayohusu uchumi wa mama mboga na uchumi wa mtu ya bodaboda, uchumi ya mtu wa wheelbarrow na yule wa mkokoteni, kama haiko mule ndani, msituambie nobody can stop reggae. Hawa wananchi watasimamisha hiyo reggae yenu. Kama mnasemaje watu wa Mumias?
But why is he changing tactic? Or why is he surrendering? In my view, I have only 3 reasons. Maybe you may add others. Number 1, I strongly believe that William Ruto feared facing Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga in a contest. Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta contested for the presidency in the last election. Both of them were voted overwhelmingly by their supporters. You can't tell me that the people who voted for Uhuru Kenyatta would not vote for him again. Or those who voted for Raila Odinga would not vote for him again. And that's the biggest fear. Raila Odinga lost the election. And according to his people, he was rigged out. President Uhuru Kenyatta won the elections, according to his people, because they loved him. But there's also the element of the system. How are you going to mount a campaign against Raila Odinga and against President Uhuru Kenyatta, who has the state machinery? And how would a defeat at the referendum affect his bid in 2022? Assuming today the deputy president decides, okay, I'm going to oppose this thing, then we go outside there. The outcome will only be 2. It's either going to win. If he wins, that will be good for him for 2022. But assuming he's going to lose, what will happen? So it's not prepared for a defeat at the referendum. And because of that, the deputy president is not going to allow himself to oppose this particular referendum. So that's number 1. Number 2, I think it has to do with the central Kenyan politics. And I've maintained on this platform severally that William Ruto without central, or central Kenya without supporting William Ruto, Ruto is a nobody. He was reminded that the Rift Valley only delivered 1.8 million votes. So the fact of the matter is that William Ruto must do everything possible to retain Central Kenya. But if Uhuru Kenyatta is going to go now to the ground, because from all indications, Uhuru Kenyatta is set and ready. Tomorrow is likely to launch the signature collection. And even by evening, probably tomorrow, Kenyans should have collected that 1 million signatures. But what will it mean for the deputy president if Uhuru Kenyatta will be going to Central Kenya to ask for their votes, and him, the deputy president, going the next day to ask them not to vote? Because if it was not going to be at the referendum level, then it would have been different. They would be blaming Raila Odinga, accusing Raila Odinga, and the rest. But now, in this case, if this referendum is going to go outside there, it's going to be important, more important for President Uhuru Kenyatta for it to pass than it would be for Raila Odinga. Because a defeat at the referendum would mean bad for President Uhuru Kenyatta. So Uhuru Kenyatta would go to Central Kenya and appeal to his people to vote for that particular document. So the deputy president would not want to lose Central Kenya. He would not want anything which will portray him as trying to fight President Uhuru Kenyatta. Because let's face it, without Uhuru Kenyatta, Ruto would not be in Central Kenya today. And because of that, he would not want to lose that. Number 3 is funding the no campaign. Election in this country is very expensive. It would be very difficult and very expensive for William Ruto to fund the no campaign. Because from all indications, it's the one who is taking the face of that campaign, if he's going to say not to it. The church will just campaign, and later on, their members will still go and vote whichever way they want. The civil society can get funding, but not enough to mount a campaign against Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. So the burden is going to be on him. And because the deputy president is planning to run again in 2022, it would be very expensive for him to fund a referendum and then fund his 2020 presidential bid. I don't think he would want that to happen. That might not happen. And because of those 3 reasons, I strongly believe that the deputy president is going to surrender. I want you guys to mark this. He's going to surrender and support the Building Bridges Initiative process. What I don't know is how his team are going to take that. Because there's some people who are hoping on taking advantage of the campaigns. That's why the deputy president is actually hiding under consensus at inawezekana. While we all know that the door to any amendments were actually closed. Even the MCs who met with Raila Odinga yesterday, they were told they can only be considered after the referendum. Yeah. So I'm sure the deputy president is going to surrender. Of course, his team are now advancing a theory that they want the deputy president not to participate, just to be there. So wache tu hiyo kitu ipite. That's a defeatist, because there are many Kenyans who are admiring the deputy president because of his stand on the Building Bridges Initiative process. Today, he's going to tell them that I'm not going to support it, and I'm not going to oppose it. He'll just be there. What about those people? Where will they go? So basically, as a leader, he also needs to take a stand. And the stand the deputy president is elected to take is actually a yes. Let us wait and see. Tomorrow, the document, the signature collection will be launched. Let us see how his allies are going to behave. But in my view, I think the deputy president is either making a tactical retreat or surrender. But I go for surrender. Maybe you go for a tactical retreat. Let me read your thoughts on this in the comment section. And for those who are following this channel for the first time, I want you to take a second or two and click the subscribe button. And to the subscribers, I really appreciate the support you've given this channel. And it's long since I asked you guys to support the channel. And you also know how we support the channel. You support this channel by sharing these videos to your WhatsApp groups, to your Facebook, to your Twitter. I know most of you guys are doing that. So please just do that. The other way is, which is very easy. Please just click on that thumbs up button. Just click on it now. It helps. Just click the thumbs up for those who like the video. It doesn't cost anything. By the way, if you watch the video, if you've taken your time to watch the video up to this point, it means you enjoyed it. Why can't you just click thumbs up? And again, those who can make their comments, please make comments. But I know there are some people who not want their names to appear. But just click thumbs up. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day. Bye.